Well, back at Jack's troop, I'm running out of words for this, we see they crack open a glass ceiling and who could have predicted? Frank dies. They then set up in a tent. What is it with the Cole just avoiding any sort of door, regardless of whether or not it's wood, metal, or cloth? We'll begin subplot number 3 before returning to Sam's... I need my thesaurus. Gang. Sam's gang. That works. Anyway, we see Laura getting worse, and they kiss. It's okay, King. It's okay. It's just her character. It's not really Emmy. Emmy's not. We then see the Secretary of State talking to the Vice President.
The President's motorcade got caught in the storm. They didn't make it.
Must have been because it was a Democrat. Wait. If he's dead, that can only mean... Oh God! Rick Cheney's president! Yeah, I said Rick. Oh God! Back at Sam and... Oh, you get it. We finally see what's going on with Laura. She has... Well, useless subplot number 2 shows up, does something important, Jack comes back, Jason passes out, and we refocus. Sam begins to look for some medicine on the boat of plot convenience, but the door to the medicine is locked. So they grab an axe and proceed to chop the door down. Or not. Well, for some unexplained reason, Sam finds it necessary to climb around the ship and break it through the window. Some genius he turned out to be. Well, they find the medicine, but decide to pick up some food. But, wouldn't you know it, those darn CG wolves show up. I just hate it when those computer-generated animals come in and ruin my plans for living. Well, they manage to trick the wolves out, and we see Jack and Jason. So much for fresh, never frozen. Jack, Jason, Sam, Brian, and AJ all proceed to get chased by global warming. Jack and Jason manage to hide, and Sam, Brian, and AJ manage to get back. However, by now they've all realized that Colt is scared of closed doors in this movie, so they shut them. Well, Jason lives because he's young and relatable, and we find out that Jack thinks the eye of the storm is past. Really? Really? You think a giant, gaping hole this big passed in a couple of hours? What sort of scientist are you? What kind of science are you using? Well, as they huddle in their anti-Ice Age tent again, they discuss the chances of Sam being alive, which, as all people with half a brain know, means he's alive. Back at subplot number 2, we find out...
Affirmative. It's finally clearing.
Hold it! You expect me to believe that an Ice Age, only lasts 2 days? No. No. I just no. 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 False. Untrue. Unacceptable. That has to be the most inconceivable, implausible, unimaginable, unlikely, not gonna happen thing you could have possibly thought of. An Ice Age of 2 days? F you, Roland Emmerich! Anyway, we see the movie poster as Jack and Jason walk into Manhattan. However, when we get there, we find out...
How much further is it to the library? Should be... right here. I'm sorry, Jack.
Wow, the suspense is killing me. I wonder if Sam's alive.
Sam!
Oh God, I'm so worried. Oh, would you just hurry up and find it so this movie can end? Well, we find them alive. What a surprise. And new President Rick makes an announcement saying that he's glad the rest of the world isn't full of asshole leaders like him, because then he'd be dead. How humble. Such a great leader. I'm so glad the man who nearly killed all of America's population is in charge of the free world now. Well, they get rescued by helicopters, and we end subplot number 2 by them saying how pretty the Earth looks now. The end. And they all lived happily ever after. Except everyone who had to watch this poor excuse of a movie. Let me summarize this film for you. The plot is a whole bunch of subplots thrown together poorly. Our main characters are so poorly built up that we don't care nearly as much about them as we should. There's so many secondary characters and plots that are unnecessary and are cut off so abruptly because they stopped having any function. The science is bogus and the ending is such a cop-out that it feels like writers just got tired and came up with the laziest excuse possible. Not to mention the whole movie feels like it's preaching some political agenda against global warming. Now, I normally have no problem with you using movies to brainwash people, but he made it so bright and special effectsy that it fails to really convey any message. The only good thing about this movie is... Emmy Rossum. I don't care if you're a whole decade older than me. One day I will have you. In short, he's evil, this sucks, she's hot, the end. I'm R.L. King, and this has been Cinema Slam.
Oh, hi there, Emmy. Glad you could join me. Got some romantic music playing for us, and I would have lit the candles, but my parents wouldn't allow me to use the lighter. Did you care for some grape juice? It's Belch's. Wait. Is this camera on? Oh, shoot.